Good morning, students. Thank you for joining me today on an introduction to the DESMOS graphing calculator. I'm so glad you're here today. I wanted to point out that in order to get to a teacher-led activity, you're going to go to student.desmos.com, and your teacher is going to have a code for you to use. So to complete the introduction to DESMOS activity, you would go to student.desmos.com and you would type in the code W24N3M. Now that's different for when you want to use Desmos to complete your own math activity. Perhaps you have a homework assignment. When you have a homework assignment and you want to use your graphing calculator, you just simply log on to desmos.com. Desmos.com will pull up the Desmos graphing calculator and allow you to use it to complete your math homework or perhaps a math assessment. So once again, the difference between the activity we're going to do today, student.desmos.com, this is a teacher-led activity where you're going to be engaged in some of the tools and functions of Desmos. Whereas if you want to use the graphing calculator to complete an alternative activity that your teacher has assigned, then you just go straight to desmos.com. Whenever it's a teacher-led activity, you're going to have a code. So over here, I have typed in the student.desmos.com and typed in my name. And I entered the class code here. So I'm going to be acting as a student today to help walk you through some of the features of Desmos. So now that you've gotten to student.desmos.com and you see this screen, you type in your name. Make sure you put your real name so you can get credit for doing your work. And you've entered this class code. You're going to select Join. So this is an introduction to Desmos. We have a series of slides that are going to walk you through some of the features and functions. We're going to go I'm going to erase my last name so I can just be a student. I'll put Maria in. There we go. And I'm going to select Go. Once I've done that, you're going to see a series of questions and activities that are going to lead you through how to use the graphing calculator. A couple things I want to point out here. You can see at the top we have 1 of 30 slides. Here on the left-hand side, you have some writing prompts that give you information, but they also ask you to complete an activity. On the left-hand side here is where all of your expressions are going to be written, all your math expressions. On the right-hand side, this is where your graph will be produced as a result of whatever you've written here in these expression boxes. So your math expressions and or equations are written here on the left-hand side. The graphing is on the right-hand side. You can see your name, or this is my name, up here in the corner, so I know I'm on my own screen. And we can see up here that this activity is Introduction to Desmos. So I'm going to go ahead and read this first set of instructions here. It says expressions are written here on the left-hand side of the screen. You can use the keyboard or your own laptop, the keyboard on your laptop, to type in any sort of math expression in this area here. If you notice below, you'll see that there is a keyboard. You can enable this keyboard by clicking down here on the arrow. It will pull up a Desmos keyboard that has a few different functions than you might find on your laptop keyboard. So you might find this keyboard down below a little bit easier to use with some of the math functions you're going to be asked to create and use and type in. So next it says, after clicking on the keyboard icon below, to type in the following point. This is an ordered pair 3, 5. And we're going to use this keyboard here to type it in. Now remember, with an ordered pair, you have to have an open parenthesis, the number, comma, this is your X value here, and then a second number, this is your Y value, and a close parenthesis. What happens when you type in this ordered pair is you're going to see on this side over here, that actual point is going to be populated here on the graphing section. So the point that you type in on the left will appear on the right. Now it's only going to appear if you've typed it in correctly. With an ordered pair, you have to have open and close parenthesis, and the first number, which is your X value, has to be separated from the second number, which is your Y value, by a comma. Let's go on to the next activity. This second activity asks you to think about what we just talked about. Ask you to think about the expressions list and the DESMOS graph. So the question is, where is the expressions list located in DESMOS? Here's a sentence starter. The expressions list is located on the blank side of the page. Well, we can type that in. We know that the expressions list is located on the left-hand side of DESMOS. The second question asks you, where is the graph located in DESMOS? Here's another sentence starter. The graph is located on the blank side of the page. So we know that the graph in DESMOS appears on the right-hand side of the page. And we're done. We can submit our answer. Now, what happens when we submit our answer is I get to see a copy of all of your responses. So as you're working through the activities, I have a teacher screen that shows me where you are in the process. So right now I'm on slide 3 of 30. And so as a teacher, I could look up to see where you are in the process and whether or not you have completed the activities correctly. It gives me an opportunity, if you've made a mistake, for me to come and just help you out with that. Make sure we're all on the same page and we all understand how to complete whatever activity you've been assigned. So again, the graph is on the right-hand side. And by the way, these tools over here on the right-hand side, the zoom in and the zoom out and this wrench, they all relate to the graph only. Whereas if you look over here on the left-hand side, these tools at the top of the expressions list will relate only to what you've written here in your expressions list itself. So these tools are going to go along with the written expressions list, whereas the tools on the right-hand side will go along and coordinate with the graph. So those are our two big parts of DESMOS, expressions list and graph. Let's move on to graphing ordered pairs, which are also known as points. So, as we discussed in the last slide, to type an ordered pair, you must have a parenthesis on the outside and a comma in between the points. So it would be open parenthesis, X value, comma, Y value, close parenthesis. If you've not written it exactly like that, you're not going to see a point show up over here on the right-hand side of the screen. So we want to make sure that we are following this format. Open parenthesis, our number for the X value, comma, our number for the Y value, and close parenthesis. So in expressions list number 2, it says you can type ordered pairs separately on each expression line if you would like. and it asks you to type the following ordered pairs below. 5, 4, -4, 2, -3, -2, and 3, -5. Each one of these following ordered pairs are going to show up over here on the graph as soon as we type them. Now remember, to open a new expression line, you just click on the empty space below. So I'm going to start with my first ordered pair here. Open parenthesis, 5, 4, close parenthesis. Notice as soon as I do that, I have a blue dot that appears. It's very cool because if I click on that blue dot, it's going to show me the ordered pair. So ordered pair 5, 4 is located in the first quadrant in my graph. I'm going to go to my second ordered pair, -4, 2. So open parenthesis, -4, 2, close parenthesis. And I can see now there's a red dot that appears in the location of my second ordered pair, -4, 2. So I have a red dot that corresponds to -4, 2, and I have a blue dot that corresponds to 5, 4. The red dot is located in quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 2 is here. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. You may remember from last year, the year before, your quadrants are located in a counterclockwise fashion. Starts over here, the top right, and continues on as if you're making the letter C. So this is quadrant 1. You move in the counterclockwise direction, quadrant 2. Down here is quadrant 3. And finally, quadrant 4 is over here. We're going to go ahead and just scroll down here, scroll down bar, and we're going to type in our next ordered pair, -3, -2, and we're going to watch that one appear. That one is also blue. That doesn't make me happy. So I'm just going to give you a little preview of what's going to come next. If you click and hold on this button here, to click and hold it, and click and hold, and it keeps disappearing. Click and hold, and click and hold. We're going to click and hold it, and it keeps disappearing. There we go. Come on, there we go. Actually, what I did was I was using my shift bar to click and hold, and it didn't hold it. I'm glad that you were able to see that because you might end up doing the same thing. So what I did then was I clicked and held on my iPad my mouse pad. When I did that, it pulled up these options here. Options for style and options for color. And I'm going to change this blue color to green so that they're all different. I don't like my colors to be the same. I like them to be different colors. So you can do the same thing if you like. Remember, you want to click and hold on this button. Then it will allow you to change the color. We're going to go ahead and type in our last button here, which is 3, 5. Our last ordered pair, which is 3, 5. 3, -5. There we go. And look, we have another green ordered pair after I just changed this guy right here to green. So we're going to try this again. I'm holding onto my mouse pad and I'm clicking on the circle icon, and I'm going to change this one to purple. Choose any color you want. But I do like to see my ordered pairs in different colors. And here it is down here. And if you're still learning how to read the coordinate plane, this DESMOS is a wonderful tool because you can just click on these can't see that one, my picture covering it. You can just click on the ordered pairs and it will pull up the values. You can double check and see which ordered pair is associated with which color. That's another reason why I like these to be different colors. So what we've done is we have typed in an ordered pair in each one of the 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, and Quadrant 4. Let's move on to our next slide, slide 4, right here. Remember to move in between slides. You can just push the forward button or the back button. Okay, so this is a student response question where you get to type in your answer. Please keep in mind that when you type in an answer, it automatically sends that answer to me so I can see what ideas you had and what ideas you're sharing with the class. So it says to name at least 2 things you noticed about the ordered pairs. Well, one thing I'm noticing is that all the ordered pairs are different colors. And I really like that. I really like that Desmos allows us to change colors just to keep those ordered pairs separate, especially as we're learning to graph the ordered pairs. Another thing that I'm noticing here that I pointed out before is that all of these ordered pairs are in different quadrants. Uh-oh, and how nice is the spell check look? You spell something wrong, you can just click on the word and spell check and correct it. So all the ordered pairs are in different quadrants. This black ordered pair here is in quadrant 1, the blue is in quadrant 2, the green is in quadrant 3, and the orange is in quadrant 4. I'm going to click share with class. Now here's the really cool thing. Once you write down 2 things you noticed about ordered pairs, if 3 of your classmates have also responded, you're going to see some of their responses down here. So you can get some ideas about what some of your other classmates observed with these ordered pairs. Let's move on to slide 5. Slide 5, here's the title, Graphing Points. Be sure your point includes parentheses and a comma. Remember, when you want to make an ordered pair in Desmos, you have to write your ordered pair in a formal way. Open parenthesis, the x value, comma, the y value, and close parenthesis. If you don't do that, then Desmos will not enable that point to appear on the graph to the right. Okay, so open parenthesis 2, comma, 3, close parenthesis is how you write a point in Desmos. When you click on the label box below the point, it will identify the ordered pair. So on the last screen, we actually just clicked on the point like this to find the ordered pair, those values. But you can also have it permanently remain there by just clicking on the word label. When you click on the word label, this ordered pair, those values are going to stay here on your graph for you to refer to again. Now, one other cool thing you can do is actually type in a name. I'm skipping all the way down here. You can type in a name for your particular ordered pair. So this ordered pair was black, so I just gave it the name black, but you can give it any name you want to. You could also maybe say quadrant 1. So this black ordered pair is in quadrant 1. Notice as soon as I put a name in here, then it's going to show up here, quadrant 1. If you want to change the position of your label, you can just click on this wrench here in the expressions box and just move it. I like it there, quadrant 1 to the right, because then it's not actually on that y-axis. So anyway, that's skipping ahead. This says create 3 new points. We're going to create 3 new points here. We're going to type each new point in each of the other 3 quadrants. Click on the label feature to identify the new points. By the way, this is a good time to remind you, if you already know how to do many of these different functions, feel free at this point to just move ahead to the next part of the video. Also, if this is brand new for you and you're still figuring out how to write points and have them appear on the graphing calculator to the right, you can also just pause. That's the great thing about a video. Video allows you to either move ahead if you already know how to do something, or pause and rewind to learn how to do something new. So I'm just going to type in 3 new points. I'm going to type in a point over here in quadrant 2. So I can see I need to choose a negative x value, open parenthesis, -2. And then to be in quadrant 2, I need a positive y value. So I'll choose 4, -2, comma, 4, and my point should appear. This one's red, just like the other. So I'm going to go ahead and just change that color because I don't like them to be the same color. So we're going to click and hold. We're going to click and hold. There we go. I'll make this one purple. I chose purple the last time also. Then I'm going to click label. And notice this particular ordered pair has been labeled with its numbers that correspond to that point. I'm going to go on to quadrant 3. Over here, by the way, if I want to zoom in or zoom out, I can do that. So I can look to see what other points I need to include below. Here we go. So quadrant 3 is down here. I know I'm going to go to the left on my x-axis. So maybe I'll choose -5, -5, comma. And I need to be down here below in the 3rd quadrant. So on my y-axis, I think I'll also choose -5. Those 2 negative numbers are going to put me down here in the 3rd quadrant. And I'm going to change my color, maybe to orange this time. By the way, you can drag these guys up and down like that. There we go. So I have 1, 2 different ordered pairs. And now I need to find an ordered pair that's going to fall here in my 4th quadrant. So I've got lots of choices. I'm going to move starting at the point of origin. I'm going to move along the x-axis to the right. I see the number 5, so I see the number 10. I want it to show up here, not underneath my picture. So maybe I'll just choose 1. 1 is going to be the first unit to the right of 0. It's going to be right here. And then I need to choose another value that falls here in my 4th quadrant. So maybe I'll choose -7. 1 along the x-axis, -7 along my y-axis, and my point should end up right here. Oh, good. It's blue. I just realized I forgot to click on my label for my 3rd point, and I forgot to click on my label for my 4th point. So those were my directions. And as a reminder, if you want to name your points, give your points a name, you can always do that as well, just by typing in some words on these lines right here. All right, let's move on to slide 6. Okay, slide 6 asks us to label the 4 quadrants. And so in the last slide, we spent some time looking at the 4 quadrants, and we talked about the quadrants starting here on the right-hand side. So this is the icon I'm going to use, a pencil icon. This is quadrant number 1. Now remember, your quadrants go in counterclockwise. They make a C, counterclockwise order. This is quadrant 2. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, I'm making my C. Here is quadrant 3. And to finish my letter C, I'm going to go to quadrant number 4. There you go. And we've completed activity number 6. Okay. Activity number 7 asks us to change the labels. So that's the title of this screen, change the labels. So review. You can change the color of your ordered pair. You can also change the label. You can label the point if you'd like, give it a name. Or you can also name the ordered pair. Let's do that one more time. So review. You can change the color of your ordered pair by clicking and holding. You can label the point by clicking the box. And you can also name the ordered pair. So box 3, and there's a sample right here. Box 3 says to create a new ordered pair in the second quadrant. The second quadrant is right here. And change the color of the label to green. So to be in the second quadrant, we've got to move. Starting here at the point of origin, we're going to move to the left. I'm going to pick a number. How about -4? -4 is along my x-axis. And then to be in quadrant 2 up here, we've got to go up. So maybe I'll pick 2 along my y-axis, comma 2. Now it says to change the color of this particular ordered pair to green. So we're going to try this again. We're going to click and hold. There we go. Right now it's blue. We're going to change it to green. Awesome. And then it says to label your new point. So I just clicked the label and notice -4, 2 is right in green, is right next to the ordered pair. Keep in mind if you want to change the position of the label, you can just click on this wrench here, and again, I just moved it to the right. I could move it above, or I can move it below. I think I'm going to move this one below. And then last, oh, that didn't work. Look, I just lost my work here. That's okay. If you go up to the top of the expressions list, you can undo, and it comes right back up again. Yay! That's good, because I don't like to lose my work once I've finished it. All right, so I can also give this label a name. I'm going to call this one green, since we were supposed to have a green ordered pair. Let's move on to the circle icon. This is slide 8. The circle icon allows you to change the color of the ordered pair, which is what we just did. It also allows you to create an open circle. Let's look over here. Notice if you look at ordered pair 2, 3, this is an open circle. This is a really important tool for when we're doing things like inequalities, for example. So when we click and hold, we not only can change the color, but we can also change from a closed circle, notice it's closed, to an open circle. There we go. So we've completed looking at how to change from a closed circle to an open circle. And we're going to try one ourselves. So this says create the ordered pair -2, 5. By the way, -2. We start at the point of origin. We move 2 units to the left. 5. We move. By the way, if you want to see these numbers, we can actually zoom in and scroll down. Let's start over again. There we go. I zoomed in so that I could see every unit. Sometimes that's helpful if we're trying to find an exact point in the coordinate plane. So here we're going to create an ordered pair -2, 5. Again, we go right down to the point of origin and we move 1, 2 units to the left. That's our x value. And then our y value is a +5. So we move 5 units in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where the ordered pair is going to end up, right here. By the way, if these minor grid lines in the back bother you, we can use the wrench on the graph part of DESMOS, which is here on the right-hand side. We can use this wrench to get rid of those minor grid lines. Some people find all of those grid lines that are in the back a little bit confusing. And so if you want to get rid of them, just click on your wrench here, and we're going to click off minor grid lines, and that will allow us to see the graph really clearly. This looks more like a grid that you're accustomed to seeing. So we're going to keep it just like that. And to click out, I just clicked on part of the screen. So once again, I'm going to go 2 units to the left, 1, 2, and then 5 units in the positive direction along the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my circle is going to end up right here. -2, comma. Notice there's nothing on the coordinate plane until I finish typing my ordered pair. Now we're going to label this point, which means we're going to click on the box. Here we can see it's labeled. And we're going to change this closed circle to an open circle. So to do that, we're going to click and hold. There it is. And we're going to click on the open circle. There it is. This one is red, just like the other one. I think I'm going to change it to blue. There we go. Maybe green. There we go. Purple. You can choose whatever color you like. That's why I love DESMOS, because you can be as creative as you want to be. And it's kind of fun. Whoever thought math could be fun? Okay, so we are done with slide 8. Moving on to slide 9. The title of this slide is just a review. And the review is this: change the colors and change the styles of your ordered pairs. So, reading the expressions box 1, it says review. To change the color of a point, click and hold the circle icon. Click and hold on the black circle icon below and change it to green. So I've got my cursor right here on the black circle. I'm going to click and hold. We're going to change, hey now. We change it to green. From black to green. There we go. Now, remember you can also change the style. Right now this is a closed circle. We can make it an open circle. So it says click and hold the circle icon and change the green ordered pair from a closed circle. I always like to label these. From a closed circle to an open circle. Okay, now we have an open circle. Well done. How are you coming along? Are you enjoying your new DESMOS graphing calculator? I know I am. Let's move to slide 10. Slide 10 says, name at least 2 functions of the circle icon on the expressions list. Well, I know that the circle icon allows me to change the color of the ordered pair. That's one thing. Oops. I love that you can go back and check. Spell check. It's easy. It also allows need to change the style from open to closed. The style of my ordered pair from open to closed and back again if you want. Okay, that answers question 1. Question 2. What other features did you notice when you clicked on the circle icon? Well, one thing that I noticed is if you just click on it, if you just click on the circle icon once, the point will disappear on the graph. I did that many times, but that's why we all practice. Desmos is new for all of us, and so it's great for you to see that it's definitely okay to have some oopsies along the way. We're just practicing and having fun, so no worries at all. Let's move on to screen 11. Now, you can also create a line from a list of ordered pairs. That's the title of my slide, create a line from a list of ordered pairs. Let's look at how to do that. Well, you can, this is my expressions list, box 1, you can create a line from a list of ordered pairs. To create a line, all the ordered pairs must be on the same expressions line, and they must be separated by a comma. See below. So notice here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ordered pairs, but instead of writing them individually on separate expressions lists and lines, I put them all on the same line. Do you notice anything different about the circle icon when I put all of the ordered pairs on one line? That's right. Before, we just kind of had a circle here with one dot in the middle. Notice when I put them all on one line and separate each of them by a comma, I get polka dots. Polka dots are a friend. The polka dots allow us to do additional things besides changing the color and changing the style. I just noticed I clicked on it. Look, that is a very sensitive button. It's really neat because when you click on this, you can see all of the dots or the ordered pairs disappear, but I can just bring them back up again. So we're going to go ahead and click and hold on the polka dots and select a lines tab to connect points. So once again, we want to click and hold. Look here. When you have polka dots, you're going to notice whenever you have a polka dotted icon, you're going to be able to pull up lines. We're just going to click over here and notice a line appears connecting all 4 dots. So we've now created a line in Desmos from a set of ordered pairs. You might also notice you have some style options here for your line. They keep things simple, and to not confuse anybody, we're going to keep this line solid. Okay. Let's go on to slide 12. Slide 12 says create your own line. So remember, to create a line from a set of ordered pairs, we're just going to choose, obviously, at least 2 points. You have to have 2 points to make a line. The directions here in the expressions box specifically say create a set of 4 points. So write them all on one, we're going to write them all here on one expressions line. And we're going to separate each point by a comma. Do not forget to separate this point by a comma, or Desmos will not understand what you're asking it to do. So 2, 3, 3, 4, I'm just picking random numbers, 4, 5, comma, notice there's a comma in between each of them, and 5, 6. I now have 4 points, and I've written them all on one expression line. I've separated each point by a comma, and notice I have polka dots. Polka dots are our friend. By the way, if you want to see all of your points here, you can either minimize by clicking the zoom out button, or if you want to go back to the original spacing or sizing, we can also click and drag our graph. I like clicking and dragging the graph. You should try that. Okay, so now we're going to connect these dots here by pressing and holding on the polka dots. Down here it says lines. So now all of my lines have been connected. Yay! Let's go on to slide 13. Slide 13 is a student response. Let's see what you learned about making a line from a set of points. In order to create a line from a set of ordered pairs, I must place all the points on the same expression line and then put a blank between each point. What do we need to have between each ordered pair in order for Desmos to understand what we're typing on the expressions list? That's right, we need to have a comma. We need to have a comma between each point. Then I click on the blank icon and enable the line. Well, in order to have a line in Desmos, your circle icon must have polka dots in it. I love polka dots. Polka dot icon. So then I click on the polka dot icon and enable the line. You will not see a line enabled if you only have one dot in the circle. You will not have that option. You'll only have an option to change the color of the ordered pair or change whether it is an open circle or a closed circle. All right, let's keep going. Creating a table in Desmos. Now, here's the cool thing. We can also create a table in Desmos. A table in Desmos is very similar to a set of ordered pairs, but when you create a table in Desmos, you do not need to use parentheses or commas. A table does not have parentheses and commas. It has only the list of X values and the corresponding list of Y values. So this ordered pair is 1, 5. There's one ordered pair, 1, 5. I wonder what this one is here. Oh, look, there it is, 1, 5. This ordered pair, 1, 5, corresponds to this ordered pair. Did you see how I went over here and just clicked right on the point itself? I wonder where the rest of those points are. Well, let me think about that as I read the directions. To create a table, tap the plus button on the top left of the expressions bar. That's over here. So remember, when we want to do something in the expressions bar, we're going to be using these features here. These features at the top of the expressions bar are specifically designed to allow you to do something within the expressions list itself. So don't confuse that with the plus and minus over here on your graph. This plus and minus and wrench and home button, these buttons over here are specifically for the graph only. So if I clicked on the plus button, I'd zoom in really far and I no longer can see my point. I zoom out, oh, there's my point again. Notice I lost my ordered pair, but I can always click on it. Oh, look, there's my other ordered pairs. If I zoom out far enough, I can see all of my ordered pairs. 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, and 4, 8. So if we wanted to create a line with ordered pairs, we could put them on one expressions list. But it's just as easy to create a table. Here is the button we use to create a table. Right there, table. And that is how this table here was created. So a table allows you to graph multiple points, just like we did previously, but you do not have to use parentheses and commas. That makes it a little bit easier sometimes. Did you notice anything, by the way, about this circle icon? It has polka dots. What do the polka dots mean? Do you remember? That's right. The polka dots mean if you click and hold, you can create a line if you want. There's a line. It has one more special feature, which is drag. We'll talk about that later. We're not going to talk about that now, but it sure is fun to see all the features in DESMOS. Okay. So note, sometimes you have to zoom out to see all the points, and that's what we just did. We zoomed out really far. You can zoom back in again like this. You can even pull the graph over if we just want to see quadrant 1. So you can zoom out or zoom in using these features over here on the graph itself. If you want to go back to the original default setting, you can just click the home button. Okay, so you use the zoom out and the zoom in buttons on the top right of the graph to find points. There's going to be many times during the school year where you're going to need to zoom out. Sometimes you have to zoom out really, really far, and that's okay. Or you can use the plus button and just drag your screen over if you want to do that as well. Oh, there they are, really nice and big. And notice you can see all of your ordered pairs. To reset your graph, click the home button, and it will reset it to the default graph, which will also be important later on this year, but not really important now. Let's move on to 15. So, how are tables and ordered pairs similar? Well, a table and a list of ordered pairs gives you a set of points. So both will give you a set of ordered pairs to graph. You might have thought of something else too. Did you think of another way that they're similar? They both have X and Y. They both have X and Y values. That's another way. Is there something else I haven't thought of that you might want to put there? I'm sure there is, because kids are always creative and I love learning from students just like you. So type in something else if you have another idea and let's share it with the class. So this is kind of fun. It says wait here for 3 of your classmates' responses. And you can see what other people wrote too. It gives you lots of ideas and that's fun. Let's move on to 16. Now, how are tables in ordered pairs different? Well, I know that when I'm writing ordered pairs as a list or a set, I have to separate the ordered pairs with a comma. I also know that I have to have an open and a closed parenthesis with ordered pairs. With a table, in a table you just have a list of X values and a list of Y values, but there's no commas and no parentheses. So that's a lot of information. So I think I'm going to write tables do not use commas and parentheses. Now look, I spelled it wrong. Oh, no big deal. I spell check. Spell check will fix it for me. A set of ordered pairs must be separated. Probably spelled that wrong. Separated by commas. And there it is, separated by commas. Now everything's spelled right. I can share with the class. Let's move on to slide 17. Whoa! Look at all those crazy lines over there on my graph. Did you know that we can create a line directly from an equation? Here's where I really get excited about DESMOS. In the past, when we have looked at our linear equations and we've solved for x or we've solved for y, we didn't have a graph that was displayed automatically for us that represented that linear equation. So in DESMOS, it's really exciting because we get to create a line from an equation. I'm going to stop here at slide 17 just to give you a little bit of a break. This is an important stopping point. And then we'll pick up again on our next section of Introduction to DESMOS with creating a line from an equation. Thanks for coming to see me today. I'm really glad that you're here and we could share this most important, powerful tool.